Okay, so I'm gonna just dive right into something that many have been talking about when it comes to this episode of Drifters. I want to discuss it, but also I want to ask how everybody else feels about it. How do you feel about it, Chibits? So, the comedy. It's something I have mentioned already. It's something I've already mentioned when it comes to me doing reviews of Drifters. And it's something that can be kind of just jarring if you're not used to it, or if it continues to pop up and you're just not ready for it. It can definitely be jarring and maybe turn you off from Drifters. The comedy is very, very weird, because the way it's presented, it's just jarring because the tone shifts. The way one moment it's very serious, and the next moment there's just a comedy skit, and you're like, what the hell? And that happens quite a lot in this episode. And I feel like this episode's going to be one of those episodes where many are either A, they're going to love this episode because, comedy's subjective, or they're going to hate the episode because, once again, comedy's subjective. And I feel like that's going to be the main driving point of this episode, what many are going to be wanting to talk about. Besides some little details with the plot, the big point of discussion is definitely going to be this right here. I hated this episode because the comedy was just like, what the fuck? Like, just stay serious or just stay full comedy. Make up your mind. Or someone's gonna be like, oh, you know what? I really like the comedy. It's very funny, and I also like the serious moments. Or maybe you just like the comedy, and you weren't a big fan of the serious moments. I mean, that's a possibility as well. And so I feel like that's gonna be the one big thing many are gonna be talking about. So I want to ask all of you Cheebits, how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about the way the comedy was presented in this episode, but also how it's presented throughout the entirety of Drifters? Because it's one of the big things that makes people either drop the series or continue watching / reading the series. It's how this is presented. So I'm asking a serious question. How do you all feel about that? And please let me know in the comments below. Now, with that said, let's talk about some of the plot details. For instance, the Black King. So we all saw it. I think we all saw it, unless you really weren't looking closely. We all saw that the Black King, he had some form of pieces fall off him and hit the ground. And it looked like salt. And judging by some of the ways that the Black King carried himself throughout this episode, it's pretty obvious to put point A and point B together. Like, just put these points together and realize what's going on here. Let's talk about some of the things that built up to that moment. The Black King, he has a hell of a lot of power. Many speculate that this man might be Jesus. And some of the things he's shown, especially with the crucifixion holes, it kind of makes you assume it's around that era. With people constantly getting crucified, this man's having this type of power, how he's able to, make food and stuff. It kind of looks like he's Jesus. And the way he's able to create this unlimited amount of food and resources like wood, and also being able to make food, it makes it to where this man is very powerful. Why would you need to teach the creatures how to farm and stuff if he could just do something like this? He can continue marching forward and destroy everything because of his powers. And they're constantly asking, like, why? Why does he need to do this? Well, here's something that I want to mention, okay? I don't know exactly where I heard this from, so forgive me if I don't remember, like, what quote it's from, but you can give a man a fish, and the man will be good for a day. You could teach a man to fish, and the man will eat for a lifetime. And that's kind of what's going on here. The Black King knows that his time is running short. He even states in this episode he is no god. He is someone that is not with an immortal body. He has a body that is going to die eventually. Probably a lot quicker than we realized, because we saw him decaying after he used his powers. We saw parts of him kind of falling onto the ground. So he's probably running out of time. And so going back to the analogy, he's teaching people how to feed themselves, how to farm, how to kind of make sure they're down the proper path. He's teaching them, giving them intelligence for they can benefit themselves, use the land for they continue to grow. Because once the Black King is gone, he can't be there to constantly bring in infinite food, infinite resources. They need to know how to manage the land. And that's kind of what he's trying to do. He's teaching them how to make food for themselves. And that is why this entire point is very important. Why he's taking the time to teach them how to work and do these other things. Teaching them writing, teaching them, different types of culture, unifying them under one religion. He has all these different goals because he wants to make a culture. He wants to make it where they can all understand each other and they can work together after he's already long dead. So this is interesting when you really take a moment to think about what he's trying to accomplish. And in a way, what the Black King is trying to do, it's not completely evil. I mean, the ways he's going about it, yes, it's definitely evil, but I mean, some of the things he's done, though, he is doing it for the benefit of, you know, some of the common or low-end monsters. I mean, think about this, okay? Now, I'm not saying the Black King is Jesus, but if we are saying he's Jesus, let's look at some of the things that Jesus did in the Bible. Jesus was someone that helped out the poor. He helped out the weak. He didn't really go out of his way to help out the rich. He didn't really care about that. He was always helping the people that were in the slums. People that you would assume someone like Jesus, someone that would never, should never be down that low. Like, people in that time think, like, Jesus should never be that low with people because he was just this powerful. He was the Son of God. Like, why would he go that low? Well, because Jesus found kindness and passion in these people and how he wanted to help them out, how he wanted to make these people grow and prosper and show how kind they really can be. And that's kind of what he's doing. He's going out of his way to help out these monsters that are at the bottom of the, you know, the totem pole for even monsters, and he's trying to help them out. I mean, there's still a ranking in monsters, even without humans, you know, just towering over monsters, how they kind of force them out and, you know, being very racist towards them. There's still tiers between monsters. I mean, even in video games. I mean, let's think about this, okay? Slimes, goblins, and then you have, like, maybe demons and dragons. Like, usually demons or dragons are really in-game tier, and you have goblins and maybe slimes that are bottom-level tier. And that's kind of what's going on here. The Black King is going to the poor. He's helping out the low-end creatures and helping them prosper, while at the same time, the rich that think they're all powerful and they take things from others and they just feel like they're so full of themselves, the dragon in this case, in this episode, they get afflicted with sins, or afflicted with viruses, diseases, or whatever, which you saw the cancer growing all over him. And so, in a way, it was an example. It kind of shows that this man was very greedy, and he was just, you know, he was consumed by his own sin. And, well, the Black King actually gave him cancer, sped it up, and that's kind of what happened. So, it's pretty cool when you think about it like that. Now, once again, like I said, I have no idea if it is, but I mean, there is some possibilities, most likely it could be, just because of some of the things that are shown, especially in this episode. Now, besides that, let's talk about the other scene with, you know, the drifters, Toyohisa, Nobunaga, and also Yoichi. So, Nobunaga, he finally gets the dwarves to make him guns. He actually finally gets the dwarves to sit down, make him guns, look at it, and they say they can produce 10 guns a day. Now, if you think about our day and age, making 10 guns a day, that's, you know, that's really slow. But we gotta remember, these are dwarves in, like, primitive medieval times that are just, you know, making it themselves by hand. Making 10 guns a day, that's an incredible thing to do. That's fucking ridiculous. And so Nobunaga realizes that's like, holy hell. Like, I mean, imagine having a factory of these guys. Like, I mean, imagine if these dwarves can make 10 per day and they were in a factory. Just think how many they could probably produce. That's just, it's ridiculous when you really think about it. So they are doing some incredible work. 10 guns a day, that adds up. That adds up quite a bit. You add up each day, 10 guns, you know, 2 days, 20 guns, 3 days, 30 guns, you know, it just keeps adding up. That's going to be crazy. So as they continue to make more guns, their arsenal gets bigger. As long as if Nobunaga can continue making ammo, everything is fine. So right now, he has an arsenal of weapons. He's getting a big-ass arsenal of weapons, and nobody can really stop him right now. And he has some really evil plans probably in store for whatever he's going to use these guns for. So pretty cool when we saw that build up in this episode. Now, Toyohisa, he's also training with the dwarves. He's actually teaching them how to fight with the sword, and also he's seeing how the dwarves fight as well. And he realizes that these dwarves, they actually can fight, and they also are not people that are just, you know, good with, you know, working and building things. They can also fight with axes. So the dwarves are showing that they could definitely be helpful as infantry. And as we know, the bowmen, which are the archers, and they're underneath Yoichi, that shows you how helpful they can be. For instance, these dwarves are the frontline people, while you have it to where the archers, the elves, will be in the back line. So they have their army building right now. Dwarves, it has the infantry, swordsmen and stuff, and also the blacksmiths, while the elves are the people that, you know, probably crafting stuff, probably using magic maybe in the future, and also people that can, you know, use bows. That's what's going on here. So we have that build-up with how Toyohisa's getting his own personal unit, his platoon, like his own army to help him out. And so it's not just Nobunaga that's benefiting from this, but it's also Toyohisa. So, talking about Yoichi now. So, Yoichi in this episode has a comedy scene, which, that shit's freaking good. That's pretty funny. Like, I'll be honest, I had a good laugh with this episode. I'm on the side to where I enjoyed the episode, but I know many might not like it. But just seeing Yoichi, like, this man that's already been mistaken for a girl by many anime onlys, even myself, when I was actually reading the series, I thought he was a freaking girl the entire time. I did, until it was revealed. I'm like, oh, that man's a dude. And, I mean, just seeing Yoichi, he's just getting freaking drunk and all that, and you just see this man, like, how he just slowly undressing. I was just having a good laugh. I'm like, oh my god, this is just hilarious and embarrassing just to see. And so Yoichi just being a good character. I really like his character quite a bit, and I mean, he just really stands out. I can't wait to see more of his character development in the future of Drifters. Now, speaking of Drifters, there is a new character that lands in the land. If you look very closely, it's a quick scene. It's not really focused on long. It's about maybe 30 to 40 seconds at maximum. And it's a scene that shows a drifter that came through. We don't know if it's a drifter or an end, but someone came in, they're unconscious, and they have a symbol of Oda Nobunaga. If you look closely, you see the symbol. So, whoever this is could be very important in the future for the plot of Drifters. We don't know whose side this person's on, but they're definitely going to be important because of how the face wasn't shown, but also the symbol that was on their back. Now, one last thing, the Count. The Count is a character that's been in the background and kind of been in the focus a little bit in the recent episodes. And he's already said, like, you know, how the Empire, it's pretty much done with. It's already going down the hill because of what's going on with the rebellion and stuff. And he comes to Toyohisa and Nobunaga like, hey, I'm willing to offer you the Empire. I'm willing to offer you my land. I'm willing to offer you the chance to take over the country in one swift blow. Because if you guys take your time and you're slowly causing a rebellion, it's going to be very bad overall. Because it's going to cause splits in the entirety of the country. It's going to cause it where there's going to be faction disputes. Like many different, you know, counts of people that have their own land are going to be going at each other trying to hold their own ownership and their own wealth. And you're going to have other countries maybe that's trying at the borders to fight back. They're going to try to invade and come in and take them down. So to quickly deal with this problem, he's like, hey, we need to just make a, you know, swift blow to the heart of the entire empire, kill them before he could take control, and we won't have to deal with no rebellions, to any faction splits, anything like that. We could just deal with it rather quickly. And so that's what's going on right here. The Count's like, hey, I'm going to help you out. Just make sure, you know, we do this rather quickly, because I don't want this to have any more problems. So we have, you know, a proposition for our side of how they can quickly get rid of the problem, which is the Empire. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you all feel about this week's episode of Drifters? Please be honest in the comments below. Love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.